Hey folks, back again with ancient cosmography. So I'm reading about the song lines, the dreaming tracks of the Australian Aborigines, who, just like the ancient Egyptians and I think all the ancient pagan religions, they involved, they sang songs and did dances and had costumes and stuff to memorize geography and astronomy. But they're probably some of the last people alive that actually understand how it all works into the minutiae. The labyrinth of invisible pathways which meander all over Australia and are known to Europeans as dreaming tracks or song lines. So it's very serious stuff, these spells. Like, people think pagan spells are just some silly superstition. But that just tells you everything you need to know about modern Westerners. They literally don't know the first thing about the first thing. Like, if you don't know these silly superstition songs, you will die trying to get across Australia. But if you do know them, you will be fine. So if you think that's silly superstition, then good luck. The examples: the Yolngu people of Arnhem Land in the Northern Territory tell the story of Barnumber, a creator being associated with the planet Venus, who came from the island of Baralku in the east, guiding the first humans to Australia, and then flew across the land from east to west, naming and creating. So my guess is Baralku is America, because, America, the underworld, was often described as being like the origin land. Like in Christianity, that's where Eden is. That's where Dante and others placed Eden. And it might just be a normal tradition that whatever is your underworld, for Americans it's Afro-Eurasia and vice versa, that is your traditional land of origins. The creator being, so the fact that it basically is Venus. If it's associated with Venus, it is Venus. And obviously Venus goes across the sky from east to west. So what this suggests is that these song lines are, terrestrial celestials. So they're also star maps. And some of them are about Venus, which makes sense because that was the case in a lot of cultures. Like the oldest Mayan codex is charting the course of Venus. So, flew across the land from east to west, naming and creating Isis was the goddess of, Isis is Venus, and she was the goddess of spells, or, she was the priestess. So, basically creating these song lines about the earth and the sky. So more examples: the Yolngu people of Arnhem Land in the Northern Territory tell us. The Yarralin people. They name and create. Venus names and creates the animals, plants, and natural features of the land. So they just describe everything in these spells. Just as Isis and Thoth, Mercury, are said to create the spells of the underworld of America, etc. The Yarralin people of the Victoria River Valley venerate the spirit Walujapi as the dreaming spirit of the black-headed python. Walujapi is said to have carved a snake-like track along a cliff face and deposited an impression of her buttocks when she sat establishing camp. Both signs are currently discernible. Nice. The native cat dreaming spirits who are said to have commenced their journey at the sea and to have moved north into the Simpson Desert, traversing as they did so the lands of the Arande, Kaiticha, Ngalia, Kukacha, and Unmatjera. Each people sing the part of the native cat dreaming related to the songlines for which they are bound in a territorial relationship of reciprocity. In the Sydney region, because of the soft Sydney sandstone, valleys often end in a canyon or cliff, and so traveling along the ridge lines was much easier than traveling in the valleys. Thus, the songlines tend to follow the ridge lines, and this is also where much of the sacred art, such as the Sydney rock engravings, is located. And in the Sydney region, okay, we already got that. In contrast, in many other parts of Australia, the songlines tend to follow valleys where water may be found more easily. Songlines have been linked to Aboriginal art sites in the Wollemi National Park in New South Wales. So that's basically like the cave paintings that I've been showing going back to, 40, 50,000 years ago, depicting land, geography, references, and so yeah, I'm going to read up on this because this is really going to explain how to understand the Egyptian and other later spell songs of other cultures. Let's see, Torres Strait, Cape York, they're talking about, the Torres Strait. Here we have, Busuanga and Palawan. So this, these are probably similar to the Sydney rock engravings that they're talking about, or, stuff like this, zoomorphic and anthropomorphic depictions of geography. And Madagascar, so showing how the Tropic of Capricorn goes through Madagascar and Australia. So yeah, now I'm not entirely sure whether Amalthea's horn is connected to Capricorn or not, because a lot of websites are saying not. Like this website, it's just about Amalthea's horn, and it doesn't mention, does not mention Capricorn. Cornucopia. So oddly, this story seems to relate to several different places. I've seen people, writings placing the cornucopia, Amalthea's horn, in multiple different locales. So it could have been that some of these concepts became memes that could be transferred around. But it does seem that Amalthea is a sibling of all these terrestrial gods, like the sirens, who are Corsica, or I guess Corsica, Rhodes, which is another island in the Mediterranean, Styx, which is an underworld sea, Persia, maybe Meroe and Nubia, Pluto, which is America, Hades, the underworld, Europa. So Europa is a sibling. So it shows we're talking about geography. Europa being Europe. Libya is Africa. Asia is also a sibling of Amalthea. Asia. These are all siblings of Amalthea. Calypso is supposed to be some other island, maybe towards the Antipodes. These are the Oceanids, Amalthea. So it does suggest that Amalthea does play into geography.